Hi, I'm Scotty here at Tracesource, and I'm going to talk about voltage regulators and why you might want to use it with vintage tube amps and why some amps it might not matter. So here is a custom amplifier that is based around like a vintage tube circuit that was modded basically to be a guitar amp. Didn't start out its life that way. But if we look right here, this thing is asking for 120 volts. That's what's coming out of the wall right now. That might be what's coming out of the wall of your home. So here's the back of a Swart Space Tone. This is a boutique amplifier made in North Carolina. And if we look here, it says 110 to 120. While this amp can take 120 volts, there are merits in going lower to 110 to open it up and give it a little more headroom. Because the circuit is older, the amp itself is new, but the circuit is based around a vintage design. So on the left here we have a voltmeter showing what is coming out of our wall, which is, standard, what you're going to see in most modern households or even studios, around 120. Here in the middle we have the brown box. This is a specifically made for guitar amps voltage regulator. I have it stepped down to 114-ish, 115-ish, which is closer to what like vintage voltages would be. You can go as low as 110. You can go below that for sounds specifically. I have the 54 Princeton plugged into that. If you didn't have something like this brown box, you could use something like this Chinese-made Variac, which is a little less precise, but can get the job done in a pinch. So vintage amps like this mid-50s Fender Princeton are the kinds of things that it's absolutely necessary for you to use a voltage regulator with. They're basically designed in such a way that they want to see around 110 or 115 coming in from the wall, and the voltage regulator is a great way to do that. So amps like this Music Man, or any amp from the late 70s till now, you generally don't have to use a voltage regulator with. So if you're looking to get the most out of a vintage amplifier, or you're looking to buy a vintage amplifier, we strongly recommend you use some sort of voltage regulator. Whether it's the brown box or a Variac, we've used vintage amplifiers with just standard wall power, and we've used them with regulators. We find that it really extends the lifetime of your amplifier and gives you superior tone.